Welcome to Season 3 of Town of Salem 2 Ranked. This brand new season brings 5 new reworks to rules, multiple balance changes, adds in some new rule buckets, and introduces a massive new gameplay mechanic to the Coven. Let's get straight into it. Starting off, the Coven have had a massive new tool added to their kit named Necronomicon Passing. This allows Coven members to vote on who should possess the Necronomicon during the day. At the start of the following night, the Necronomicon will be passed to whoever had the most votes. That player will gain all the abilities that come with the Necronomicon. Now this is a really exciting change for the game as it allows so much more strategy with the Coven team. Not only do you no longer have to rely on the previously predefined Necronomicon order, but you can also now change who has the book without anyone on your team even dying. This mechanic has so much potential and we're all really excited to see how everyone utilizes it in Season 3. A lot of you may be wondering how this new mechanic affects the Coven Leader role since it currently will always possess the Necronomicon. In light of this change, we've entirely overhauled the role into something brand new. During the night, the Coven Leader may pick another member of the Coven or themselves to attempt to retrain them. You'll be able to select a new Coven role for them to transform into. There are some limits on how the roles can be changed. You cannot retrain a player into a role that is previously or already is on the team. You can only retrain Coven Utility and Deception roles into other Coven Utility and Deception roles. Meanwhile, Coven Killing and Coven Power roles can be turned into any roles in the team. The following day, the Coven member you targeted will be able to accept or decline being retrained. If they accept, they will instantly transform into the new role. If they decline, you'll get a message in chat telling you, and you'll try again the next night without losing an ability charge. Alongside Necronomicon Passing, this rework is another really big change we're bringing to the Coven faction this season. A role which can directly control which roles are actually in the game leads to so many unique possibilities with different Coven role combinations, and is going to lead to a way more consistent Coven team across games. We really hope that you all enjoy the new Coven Leader. Moving on to the penultimate change for the Coven this season, Dreamweaver's Insanity has been replaced. We've listened to your feedback surrounding the RNG aspects of Insanity and have decided to completely replace it with a brand new mechanic named Insomnia. When a player is suffering from insomnia, they're no longer going to be able to use any of their day or night abilities unless the Dreamweaver is killed. This change is going to allow Dreamweavers to apply pressures to the town much more reliably than compared to before, and alongside this we're also going to be replacing any Insanity related achievements with brand new ones. Now moving on to our final Coven change for the season, we have introduced a brand new role bucket called Common Coven. This new role bucket can only spawn Coven Utility and Coven Deception roles. The reason we're introducing this is we've noticed in games sometimes the Coven faction will end up with an unfair amount of Coven Power or Coven Killing roles, and this is a new way for us to limit that while designing a role list while not introducing any kind of hard cap to the game. Now very similarly to Common Coven, we're introducing a new role bucket to the game called Common Town. The Common Town bucket contains every single town role except for town power roles. This will allow you to cap the amount of total town powers that can spawn in a game without us having to add any kind of hard limit. You're going to see both of these new role buckets in the Season 3 ranked list, and if you want to give any feedback on it, you can do so in the YouTube comments, or you can do it in our Town of Salem 2 Discord server. Now continuing with the town changes, Marshall has received a minor rework. We've seen your feedback surrounding Marshall being too disruptive in games. In light of this, we're increasing Marshall's tribunal count from 1 tribunal to 2. However, a tribunal will now have 2 executions instead of the previous 3. This change slows down Marshall's gameplay without actually changing the total amount of bonus kills it brings to the game, which is only 2. This also gives other players in the game a chance to try kill the Marshal before they get their second tribunal off, making it a lot more fair to play against. Following our Marshal change, Trickster is getting a full overhaul. At night, the Trickster may now place magic mirrors on their targets to protect them from an attack. If an attacker attacks them, they're going to absorb that attack. The following night, they're able to unleash the exact attack they absorbed onto another player. So if a Trickster absorbs a Coven attack, and then kills another player, it'll show as a Coven kill. Alternatively, if the Trickster absorbs a Werewolf attack, they'll be able to unleash that full Werewolf attack, including the Rampage, on any other player. This is a really interesting direction for the Trickster role to take, as there's going to be a lot of really cool plays you can pull off as the Trickster yourself, and it's a role which can be reliably fake claimed by evils unlike the previous Trickster. Socialite is being completely overhauled to play fully differently than it currently does. During Season 2 Ranked, we've observed that the previous Socialite Night Chat design was really unhealthy for the game, and we've decided to completely scrap the role and bring in a full new design instead. The Socialite now has a guest list. Any members of the town who are not on the Socialite's guest list are not allowed to attend any of their parties at night. During the night, the Socialite may throw a party at another player's house. Anyone not on the Socialite's guest list will be rejected from entering, causing their ability to fail. This works the same way visiting a jailed player works. If a player is rejected from entering, they will be added to the Socialite's guest list for future parties. This is a much more strategic design for Socialite, and we're going to be carefully monitoring how it performs during Season 3 Ranked's off-season. Now moving on to some smaller balance changes for the town. Deputy has been changed to a unique role. Psychic has had its vision order swapped, and Seer may no longer check any players they've checked for the rest of the game. All of these changes have been made to ensure these roles are more fairly balanced in their own sub-alignments. We only have a couple changes left, and they're both for neutral roles. Baker will no longer die of starvation when there are only 3 other players left. Instead, Baker will stay alive and will transform into famine if every other living player has been given bread. The outcome of Doomsayer's Doom ability has been changed. When Doomsayer successfully agresses 3 players, they will still leave the town like usual. However, instead of those players being killed instantly, they are all marked as doomed. Doom players' roles are not revealed to the town, and they'll be dealt an unstoppable attack the following night. This will reduce the sudden impact Doomsayer has on the game when they win, and will allow doomed players to get any final uses of their abilities off, such as a Conjurer conjuring a Meteor, or a Marshal using Tribunal. That wraps things up for Season 3. We'll be making more changes based on feedback throughout the off-season, which will last for another month. If you have any feedback on today's update, make sure to share it on our Discord server or the comments of this video. All of us at BMG really hope you enjoyed the new season. Thanks for watching.